Hello, my name is Ivan, and I would like to present you preliminary findings of the qualitative study of developers' attitudes towards software dependencies. We performed this study in the Security Research Lab of the University of Trento. Vulnerable dependencies are a known source of security issues. Usage of components with known vulnerabilities is well recognized as one of the major security threats by WASP Top 10 project. Moreover, a recent report by SNCC suggests that components with known vulnerabilities are the most common cause of large security incidents, like the Equifax breach or Panama Papers. Still, many papers suggest that developers keep using vulnerable dependencies. However, several recent empirical studies report controversial findings. Just look at this pair of papers. There et al. Suggests many dependencies are vulnerable but could be easily updated. However, a later study by Hong et al. Say easy update would have broken around 50% of dependent projects. A second example of the controversial findings we could observe by comparing the papers by Kuhl et al. And Pashenko et al. While the Kuhl paper is saying that many Java libraries do not react on security updates, Pashenko et al. Reported that some vulnerabilities are in test development scopes, and they found it exploitable. Hence, developers may not be entirely irrational in not always updating dependencies. And it is very important to actually understand their reasoning to improve the dependency management process and make it secure. For this, we have interviewed developers of 25 companies from 9 countries. We discussed the developers' practices and perceptions of the following 4 aspects: selecting new dependencies, updating currently used dependencies, using automatic dependency management tools, and mitigating bugs and vulnerabilities for which there is no fixed dependency version available. We followed the applied thematic analysis approach for analyzing the interviews that included such steps like interview collection, iterative transcription and coding, saturation check, construction of a code coherence table, and the final validation of the findings with the interviewees. Let me also share the major preliminary findings. For library selection, we found that developers pay attention to security only if it is required and enforced by the policy of their company. Otherwise, they mainly rely on popularity and community support of libraries. For example, number of stars, forks, project contributors. Regarding updating of software dependencies, developers try to avoid updating dependencies for any reason, as they are afraid of breaking their software projects. Security issues motivate developers for updating only if vulnerabilities are severe, widely known, and adoption of the fixed dependency version does not require significant efforts. Concerning automation of dependency management, we found that developers do not believe sensitive tasks like dependency updates to be performed automatically. Therefore, they perform such tasks manually. The current dependency analysis tools, if used, only facilitate the identification of vulnerabilities in the project dependencies. However, dependency tools produce many false positive and low priority alerts, and therefore many developers tend to avoid using them. For the case of unfixed vulnerabilities, developers have the following strategies. First, they assess whether this vulnerability impacts their projects. They also might decide to wait for the fix or a community workaround. If a vulnerability impacts their projects, some developers may decide to adapt their own project. For example, disable affected functionality or roll back to a safe version. Several skilled developers reported that they maintain own fork of a dependency project. Possibly they fix and make a pull request to the dependency project. The complete list of our findings and their implications could be found in our paper that is going to appear in the CMCCS 2020 conference. As for the future work, we plan to broaden our study to more countries, find actionable implications of the analysis results, and correlate results with different types of companies. If you have any questions or suggestions, I'd be glad to discuss them with you. Please drop me a line in Skype or via email. This research was partly supported by the CyberSec for Europe and Next Horizon 2020 research projects. Thank you for your attention.